This is the collective energy update based on Opal Quantum Healing, the analysis that I did for this coming week, what's going on with energies, and some remedies for you guys, okay? So I was guided to measure people that are in the 5D system, okay? The 5D system is a higher harmonic. The root shifts to the 5th density. So you're grounding in the 5th density instead of the 4th, energetically speaking, or the 3rd, excuse me. What they're showing me right now is that the cosmic gateway is really open and expanded, which is great. So if the cosmic gateway, if you're resonating upper 5D, 60, 70, you're going to feel, and even if you've been in the 5D system for a long time, the cosmic gateway is slightly distorted, you will feel it. It will feel like depression, fear, anxiety, even though it's minor, because you're so used to this expanded energetic presence that something that minor can make you feel those lower vibrational feelings and emotions and fears. So it's great that that's open for this collective. In the 3D system, you guys will feel that depression, anxiety, etc. when the higher gateways start shutting down or aren't even open or have never been open. And if they've never been open, you're not going to be able to compare or contrast what it's like when they're clear versus when they're not. So that's part of this process, is when you clear your field and you know what it feels like to have a really open, expansive, purified connection to source, then you look back to how you felt before that happened, and there's a huge difference. But if you haven't been there yet, you don't know what it feels like because you haven't experienced it. So that's a huge shift when you move from the 3D to the 5D system, okay? So the crown chakra, so it's the 11th chakra in the 5D system. It's a golden light, a really white gold color. It's luminescent, sparkling. This is slightly distorted, not massively, but you guys can work with a golden light and just visualizing the crown chakra opening and expanding and being balanced, okay? Third eye, throat, and heart are all really nice and expanded this week. Solar plexus is distorted, so there's a lot actually going on with some distortions in personal ego will versus divine will, okay? And I'll get into that here in a second. Root chakra is distorted, so this energy can't really ground through you. So there's this dissonance between spiritual will, or divine will, personal will, and grounding and the actions that you need to take, okay? And then the connection to the 5D core is weak or wobbly. So it's really important for you guys to work on that pillar of white light. With the 5D, I recommend working with diamond light coming in through all of the gateways, all the chakras, moving through the body down into the crystalline core, okay? There are meditations in the space, so I will type those out. I need to write that down. So, diamond light, the pillar of diamond light. Then we have masculine energies are really good, feminine energies are weak. So the theme this week is this imbalance in giving and receiving. And since the masculine energies are good, but the feminine's weak, most likely it's tipping on you guys giving too much and not being open to receive, okay? So that's where you need to look at the balance. Now, it's really good to give openly, but there is a karmic balance that you want to keep even. And what this does is it stabilizes the quantum field of energy so that things remain balanced. If you overgive too much, then it can create an imbalance for yourself and for the other person. So there needs to be this even exchange, okay? So keep that in mind. It's not about being selfish or overly concerned with getting. It's about balance, okay? So that shouldn't create fear around giving, because the universe will always balance things out eventually, okay? So if there's a need to give more than you're expected, then that's great, but there also, you need to be receptive to that energy coming back in another form, or from the same person or situation, but you have to be open to it. So if you're always giving and you're not open to receiving, there's going to be some karmic imbalance there. Okay. Then we have the levels of the field 3 through 7 are all slightly congested. So it would be recommended to do the 7-layer bioenergetic field purification just to clear things out so that no blocks appear. So when your field is really clear, if you stay on top of your energy, energy work and purification and meditation and all of that, then the blocks that will begin to appear will actually be dissolved before they actually become blocks. Okay, so that's the phase in the 5D. You guys are probably lower 5D, 900 kilohertz here, okay? So the recommended sessions this week are Metatron's Cube, Flower of Life, and Spirit Body Alignment. So Metatron's Cube is to balance all the chakras, Flower of Life is to open up those feminine energies, and the Spirit Body Alignment is actually to help harmonize higher spiritual energies, the spiritual field, spirit body, mental body, emotional body, physical body, and with Gaia. So what happens as your frequency rises, a lot of times the spiritual energies will just skyrocket, and people are off in the ethers with these high frequencies, but the mental body is congested, the emotional body is congested, and the physical body is having issues. So what you have to do is a slow progression of frequencies in all of the bodies, okay, simultaneously, so that they're all harmonized, okay? Because if just the spiritual energies are out there, you're not going to experience that within the physical body. The physical body, the mind, the emotions aren't going to be able to resonate with those. You might be able to tune into them intellectually or be like, yeah, I get this, but you're not going to experience it like viscerally, okay? So especially with the Ascension, because we have all these distortions and spiritual energies are actually being skewed from the physical body, we need to make sure these are all harmonized. So the Spirit Body Alignment does the harmonization there. Okay, so the things that were coming up are about the spiritual divine will versus ego will. So right now, for some of you guys, you may be pushing too hard, trying to do too much. You need to be open to receiving divine help, divine support, as well as help and support from others, and understand that ego power, your separated, isolated self, isn't the power in the world. It's divine power that moves through you. That's how you gain that power, okay, is being in alignment. So the recommendation is for you guys to make conscious contact with your higher self this week. And when you feel you've done this and you've anchored that in with simplicity and you feel renewed, then you can step back out and start taking action again, okay? There's giving and receiving and manipulative energies here, so you need to be cautious of this on both sides, with yourself and with others. You cannot give in the with the expectation that you will get something in return, or that you will be able to control another person or situation. It needs to be an open-hearted, honest giving, and then you have to be open to receiving that energy so it's balanced, okay? And give without expectations. So be generous and compassionate with your giving, okay? Then there's a need to focus on spiritual wealth instead of material wealth. So everything starts in the spiritual first, energetic, spiritual realms, okay? We are all multi-dimensional beings, whether you acknowledge that or not. And our reality is primarily based on quantum reality, not physical, okay? Everything starts in the quantum reality, the thought, the energy first. Then it translates into physical reality once it hits the tipping point, okay? So you need to weigh out where are your priorities. If they're in physical wealth and abundance, and you're lacking in that spiritual connection and spiritual wealth and abundance, then there's going to be distortions in just your life and your alignment in general, okay? And then there's a message to not get frustrated if things aren't going the way that you had planned. This has come up a lot. So I think a lot of people have these plans and outlines of things and times they want things to happen. And they're saying if it doesn't happen the way you want, there's a bigger picture that you cannot see, and something better or more expansive will come in. I got this message probably a month ago about this really powerful energy coming in that is unexpected and a lot bigger than you think. Okay, so stay open to more than what you're expecting. Continue working towards those things you want, and working on the energetic, emotional, mental, spiritual space of creating those. And but be open to the timing. Okay. And then there's a message to commit to your path fully. So balancing giving and receiving, but know your higher path, highest timeline. Commit to that and believe in yourself. Okay. So those are the messages for the analysis. And again, let's go over these real quick. I will link these in the blog section. 7-layer bioenergetic field purification, and this is to clear the congestion. I'm not seeing any blocks, but this will keep blocks from forming. Metatron's cube to open up that pillar of white light. Work with the diamond light pillar of light. Flower of life to open up the feminine energies, and the spirit body alignment to keep all of the bodies harmonized, so that when you raise your frequency, everything stays connected and there's no distortions in the bodies. Okay. All right. Hope that was helpful. See you next week.